In the heart of a charming little village, there stood a whimsical candy shop called Sweet Delights. The shop was a rainbow of colors, with jars of candies lining the shelves and the delicious scent of sugar wafting through the air. This magical place was run by Mrs. Sugarplum, a kind-hearted woman who loved to see children smile. But Mrs. Sugarplum wasn't the only one who adored the candy shop. A tiny mouse named Hammy had made Sweet Delights his home. Hammy was a plump little mouse with soft gray fur and twinkling eyes that lit up whenever he saw a piece of candy. One morning, Hammy woke up to find the shop buzzing with excitement. Colorful banners hung from the ceiling, and a large sign read, "Happy Candy Day." Mrs. Sugarplum was busily arranging trays of candy, her face beaming with joy. "Candy Day!" Hammy squeaked, his eyes wide with delight. "It's my favorite day of the year!" Candy Day was a special celebration where Mrs. Sugarplum gave out free candy to all the children in the village. It was a day filled with laughter, joy, and of course, lots of sweets. Hammy had always dreamed of celebrating Candy Day, but he knew he had to be careful not to get caught. As the day went on, children flooded into the shop, their eyes sparkling with excitement. Mrs. Sugarplum handed out candy canes, lollipops, chocolates, and gummy bears. Hammy watched from his hiding spot, his tiny nose twitching with anticipation. When the shop finally closed for the day, Mrs. Sugarplum left a small basket of candies on the counter for Hammy. She always made sure to leave him a little treat. "Happy Candy Day, Hammy," Mrs. Sugarplum said softly, smiling as she turned off the lights and left the shop. Hammy scampered out of his hole and climbed onto the counter, his heart swelling with happiness. The basket was filled with all his favorite candies, chewy caramels, jelly beans, and even a few pieces of fudge. Hammy's eyes sparkled as he looked at the sweet bounty before him. "Oh, thank you, Mrs. Sugarplum," Hammy squeaked with joy. "This is the best candy day ever." Hammy decided to celebrate in style. He gathered his mouse friends from the nooks and crannies of the village and invited them to the candy shop. One by one they appeared, Minnie, Squeaky, and Whiskers, all excited to join the celebration. Together, they had a grand Candy Day party. They danced on the counter, played hide-and-seek among the candy jars, and shared the delicious treats Mrs. Sugarplum had left for Hammy. The little shop was filled with the sounds of happy mice, their tiny feet pattering and their high-pitched squeaks of delight. As the night drew to a close, Hammy and his friends curled up in a warm corner, their bellies full and their hearts content. Hammy looked around at his friends in the cozy candy shop, feeling incredibly grateful. "This has been the best candy day ever," Hammy whispered, a smile on his face. And so, in the quiet of the night, the tiny mouse and his friends drifted off to sleep, dreaming sweet dreams of candies and friendship. From that day on, Hammy knew that the true magic of Candy Day wasn't just about the sweets, but the joy of sharing it with those you love.